Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Find out that blowing into your Nintendo games didn't work feels like a betrayal.
Yeah. Right. I'm doing everything right, and my knowledge of the world is
it worked. So what do you mean it's
take
not?
Take that. Period.
Yeah. And it fixed the problem. So what do you mean we weren't supposed to do it?
We're back. Did you miss us? Oh, that's
right,
also,
exactly.
Right.
I don't understand.
We're just gonna pretend
if fixing so many computer problems comes down to turning it off and turning it back on again, then you can't tell me that blowing into my cartridge was a problem. So no, you're the problem. Go away.
Okay, that's a fun compromise. All right. Sure.
So take that and put it in your cartridge.
Right.
All right?
Okay. This is also, it's hard to do a wellness check on you.
Hey, welcome into Twilight.
You do this once every,
we
quarter.
never left.
Every, Q1 rolls around. It's all right, it's new girl time. Q2 rolls around. It's all right, here we go. We're back in the saddle, baby. Let's go. So,
and
really
I coped fine. I didn't start watching
when it is a problem.
So
versus when it's just
listen. Hey, before anyone tries to do a wellness check, I'm only doing it while I walk on my treadmill in the morning. So everyone shut up. I haven't started and finished it since we didn't take a break.
Hey,
so everyone shut up. Put your phones away, all right?
And that's wonderful,
6 months.
We're all good. Shit happens. Life happens,
I just don't.
Right. Everything's so good exactly. right now. I feel really good about the state of everything.
I'm the problem. I don't know what you want me to say. Sometimes I forget that a lot of my problems can be fixed by just waking up with fucking a new girl in the morning.
Yeah.
All right?
Hey, I'm here. I'm living. I'm doing a little bit of an unconventional happy thing.
We didn't have a break. We're fine. Everything's fine.
I was going back to my regulars. I was like, what TV shows have they watching? But
most
of them, honestly, been pissing me off. So I'm not even gonna.
Everything in the world
is
great. Everything's so good.
Right. And then I was like, well, I could do this as a happy
I've
thing,
never
but
been
I have not
more grateful
done
that
or
we do
experienced
happy
it yet,
things,
but I'm about to right after we finish this
relying on positivity.
So I'm doing a preemptive happy thing, which may be the best day of my life. Which is a bold claim. And that is, in mere hours, we are going to a drag brunch that will be featuring as a guest appearance the one, the only, Phaedra Parks.
Oh.
I am not. She's doing some 5 drag brunch tour, city tour or whatever. And I've never in my life bought tickets faster to something ever. Because I was like, I have to be there. I have to see what does that even mean? Is she going to do stuff? I don't, what's going to happen?
Ooh,
no,
okay.
Literally. She's a genius. She's actually a genius. She knows her audience, And I don't obviously have details because this is yet to have happened, but I'm sure it's going to be the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I think that's fine.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That
Or across
is-
America.
Yeah.
That's the smartest branding thing that I've ever heard of.
It's the most genius thing I've ever heard in my life, and I am going to be
Wow.
visibly vibrating and levitating the entire time, I'm sure. And that's all
Holy
that's
shit.
occupying my brain now. 'Cause
That's
it's
like
T-minus
I can
X
the
amount of
only
hours
other
before
better
bed.
pairing that I could think of for like that's like saying, oh, Jeff from
I will do a
Survivor
debrief
and the
for sure,
Wienermobile
beat by beat,
are
play by
going on a
play.
world
I'll
tour.
do,
Like
when they do on ESPN, like the little circles of stuff.
that's the only thing I can
aids.
imagine that I would sign up with the same amount of speed
How are you
as a
doing, my friend?
drag brunch with Phaedra. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, nothing new to report there.
Wow.
Sure, gross, but okay.
I'm gonna need a very strong and detailed report next week.
Right.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my god. Well, obviously I'm fine because the world's great. Nothing new.
Right.
No, but like, can I be for real? It was so hard to find something to bring this week. And I, not to be like sentimental on Maine, but I'm actually like super glad that we do this. Because I know, and listen, me of all people, but I was like, hey, I'm really glad that we do this thing, because like we started it being like, hey, we talk about 50 Shades, we should probably talk about like stuff that's actually good. I'm actually glad that we talk about things that are happy and joyful, because
Sure,
that's
Of course
nice.
it's me. Yeah, okay.
Because you know everything is super good in the world right now. So anyways, that was gross or whatever. But the happy thing that I've brought is such a fucking, I mean, it's definitely on brand as someone who grew up watching House Hunters. So this is a natural progression, but it is,
Yeah.
my For You page knows me really well. This is a pseudo series by a TikTok creator called Mainstream Living, but it's Maine, not like Disney Main Street, but like the horse Maine. And they started finding these houses on Zillow that are designated as single family homes. However, they've started being like, okay, can I find these houses that are designated as single family homes, but are definitely like polygamist homes? And it is now my favorite series that I found, because all of these houses are like, you would think would be like $3 million, but because they're in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? They're like they're like the cost of a house. If I was trying to buy something here. But they're like 8,000 square feet. And they have like 14 beds and 10 baths. And this person just does like a Zillow tour, which I love, right? Like, Ms. Redacted has done Zillow tours before.
Right. It's like, why
but
are
this
there
is
12
specifically like,
bathrooms
I'm
and
gonna
800
find
bar stools around the
what is
island?
obviously like a polygamous
Like, I'm
home.
confused.
And these places have like 3 kitchens and 2 laundry rooms. And is like, all of these photos are trying to make it seem like, oh, this is a normal house, but it's very much like, this would be on Sister Wives kind of thing, right? And there's something just so satisfying about it, as someone who never watched Sister Wives, to just be like, oh, the staging person is trying to make this seem like someone would just buy this home. But this is like 19 Kids and Counting kind of shit. Right. And it's very much not a like LA party house, because those have like 6 bedrooms and 25 bathrooms. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. We could just
the
have
distinguishing
a
event is off. These ones you can very much tell, because some of them will have like the printed floor plans, because they have like multiple entrances to them
all
too.
Together.
But they're not townhomes. Yeah. They're designated as single family homes. And I'm a nosy person. That's not a surprise to anyone here. So being able to see someone find these,
I love that.
It is just so satisfying. So I highly recommend it if you're also nosy like me. But there's also something, like, a lot of people in the comments are like,
we see reinvention,
damn, like, me and a couple of my friends who are families,
quickly,
we could just snatch this up. Like, it's
a
really not that bad.
Idea. That is very fun.
Right, exactly. Like, we're not polygamous, but, like, the layout of this is pretty nice, to be honest.
Right.
So, exactly, right? But it there's just something very beautiful about all of it. So, highly recommend it. It's brought me a lot of joy. So, please partake and enjoy. As usual, the comment sections are beautiful and great.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. It's a nice twist on the classic of like, oh, this Zillow house, someone died here. Or this one is obviously like has a sex dungeon. Nope.
Right.
These ones just
sometimes they are actually
someone cooked here kind of thing. Why does this home have 3 industrial kitchens kind of thing? Which I think is kind of beautiful. We have an interesting charcuterie board of current events this week. The first of which, you all might be like, hey, that's a Debbie Downer. So I want to preface it by being like, hey, it's kind of relevant to this week's episode. So, chill. Mm-hmm. But also, sometimes our current events are actually current events, which is shocking here. So, how about that?
Right.
There's a piece that came out that we see here on E-Online.
Yeah,
that was published
there's a lot going on.
That one of the makeup artists, specifically a lead makeup artist on the Vampire Diaries, S2, passed away. And Nina and Paul had honored her on their Instagrams.
Right.
And I don't know, we talk about this a lot, about how a lot of the like technical folks on the back end are amazing and make everything
there's some really
come
nice,
to life
photos,
on these shows.
But
specifically like this episode, there's a lot of makeup work.
Right.
So that is, it feels especially important. Especially because as it shows in this piece, Essie was the head of the makeup department between 2010 and 2012, which is like when this episode came out. So important for us to be able to note. And there's a lot of photos that Nina and Paul had shared that are just super cute BTS photos, which are lovely. So, love to see. I always hate to see folks that like that's super young. So that's always a bummer. But she seems very well loved within her work. And it seems especially apt for the episode that we're talking about this week. So, thank you for all of your work, Essie. Yeah. The next piece. This is far less current eventy, but I wanted to bring it up. It's just a thought because listen, it's not wrong. Since we spoke last, there was a double album that was released. That is unfortunately very
so
apt
right to say that.
not just the Vampire Diaries, but also Twilight, with quite a few tracks. And a creator by the very critical name.
Keep that in
Shelbo
mind.
Baggins.
Keep your fan edits in mind.
On TikTok. Thank you, Shelbo. Made the very important discovery by saying that one of the songs, The Prophecy, would have just absolutely ripped in 2010 for the Vampire Diaries. And Shelbo, you're not wrong at all. In fact, you're very right, and I'm glad that you said it.
Absolutely.
Especially like the end of this episode this week.
Who says, "Hello, comrades."
You're so right, and I'm glad that you said it.
By the way, just a great way to do it. I'm overjoyed that you're watching the Vampire Diaries. Finally
and God, I've seen a lot of fan edits this week.
I grew up in the glory days of Twilight. I vaguely remember in 6th or 7th grade, the weird girl in band was obsessed with some weird book series about vampires.
On our
she
desk.
was aggressively into it, and I was very much not interested. Flash forward a year.
Thank you, Comrade Baggins.
All of the people that were like super weirdly into Twilight.
We have a backstory here
Ellie.
from
that's just
Ellie
talking
the main
about
character.
Her web connects you all.
With Twilight.
Right.
Would you like to share that with the class?
Flash forward a year, and in the pre-movie release frenzy, almost all of my friends read the books. The movie came out, and one of my friends somehow convinced her mom to pay for all 7 of us to go see Twilight in theaters. Yeah, that's baller. That's cool as fuck. In this economy, I knew essentially nothing about Twilight going into the movie, except that it was about vampires. What preceded was one of the best movie viewing experiences in my entire life.
It was me.
Twilight was hilarious. I left the movie convinced that it was one of the best comedies I'd ever seen. I finally told my friends that I would read the books. I borrowed them from various friends, and if memory serves
I didn't even do band. I was just there.
Getting through each book in about 2 days. That's powerful. Twilight was probably they're big books. Twilight was probably the first romance I'd ever really read. A born and raised Mormon. Remember
in the
being
recession?
Apprehensive to read a romance novel, only because I knew they were risque. For some context, the only romance novels I ever saw my mom pick up were Love Comes Softly style historical or Amish-based romances, where a long kiss before marriage is about as passionate as it gets. I was therefore reassured when I learned that Stephanie Meyer was also a Mormon, so things couldn't get too scandalous. Needless to say, when I reached the honeymoon scenes, 13-year-old me was absolutely scandalized. My aunt had read the books around the same time, and I was terrified she would tell my mom about the graphic
Those are big books.
And my mom would also be scandalized. That conversation seemingly never happened, but I went an absurdly long time worried about it happening. Yes. Hey. Just to be real.
Oh no.
Just to... Right. Despite reading the book so quickly, I pretty quickly fell out of love with Twilight, as a lot of us did, mostly based around Not Like Other Girls' misogyny, with a light smattering of problems that actually exist in the books. I've never seen New Moon all the way through, but I have seen Eclipse. What happened to be
Hey, wait, pause. Hey, Ellie.
My cousin the same day. Her friend
Hey, Ellie.
minute to go see Eclipse.
You know that conversation happened, right?
Second row at the end, unable to see.
Hey, Ellie.
Everyone else was.
You know, hey, Ellie. For real though, you know that conversation happened, right? Okay,
I've
all
yet
right.
to revisit the
all
Twilight
right.
books.
I just want to
personally,
make sure
because I
that
know
you,
the day
present day
I
Ellie,
creating a
knows that
detailed spreadsheet
conversation
or essay
happened.
detailing the LDS theology and influence of the books. That I just don't have time for that.
All right, you can continue.
Yeah. What if you do, though? Because I need that really bad. Like, not to put, like, work on you or anything, but that is really important for us. Mm-hmm. Right.
Ellie, hey, hear me out. What if you do have time for that, though?
Pardon.
need it. So wait.
Right.
So Ellie,
just
I know that you wrote more of this, and I did pause it because you started talking about the originals, which we haven't seen yet, and I got scared. But from what I understand here, you've read all the books. You've watched Twilight.
Kind of
You've
need to get a
watched
status
some of New
update
Moon
for sure on that.
You've watched Eclipse. You haven't watched You haven't watched Breaking Dawn Part 1 or Part 2.
Yeah, it might color your opinions
Ellie?
on stuff a little differently in hindsight.
Are you busy right now? 'Cause
I mean, she's right for that.
Do you happen to be like in school?
Right.
Or are you busy? 'Cause I need to know if you have like actually finished these movies.
Sure. Do other things happen?
That's very important for me to know.
The most important thing Taylor Lautner's nipples? Probably, right?
Yeah, because if you haven't seen
it sticks with you.
The TM scene in Part 2, that's very important for me to know.
Less important.
Also, the only part you remember from Eclipse is Taylor's nipples.
God. Yeah.
Oh, God. Listen. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just...
Yeah.
Listen, we all have we have things that stick with our memory, you know? It's just...
Yeah. I was like... Right. And then I was like, oh, masks. Right. I forgot.
Yeah. I mean, his like body also snaps in half.
Something about...
Like, he also almost dies.
Oh, I forgot that Mason for sure died.
Hey, Ellie, if you're not busy or you want to hyperfixate on something, I would love to see a spreadsheet of the
bad
LDS
parental
theology,
figure.
though. That'd be great.
Jenna almost for sure died.
This is very important to me. Thank you for this gift. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to be for real with you. I forgot everything that happened because we went a week without watching the show. Mason died?
Yeah, this is... also, Kevin Williamson wrote Scream.
Matt is on a...
So that's...
Oh, yeah, Jenna was, like, supposed to die. We found out this episode that...
I did scream. I hooted, I hollered.
Yeah, I've never been more grateful for the, like, here's what you missed on Glee.
Right, thank you, sir, for your service. And Julie, for your service. Because this was a banger.
I need to find desperately on IMDb who the writers are for this episode. This is, like, my favorite... Okay, Kevin Williamson, Julie Plec, LJ Smith. I Owe You My Life. This is my favorite episode that we've watched so far. This was some Ocean's 11 shit.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
And I screamed
there has
this
to
episode.
Be a charity
to
support.
So, mission accomplished. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It was... I love a good, like, we're gonna break into a bank vault kind of episode. Give me we're all a group, everyone has a mission. These are my favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of like
things. And I didn't think we were going to get one of those in
like,
this show.
He likes two things.
Because
why? It's like, okay,
why would we do that here?
Though?
It's a small town.
Maybe like two events.
Where we have an event every episode, you know? We never... Okay, so Mrs. Lockwood pops off with this at one point about, like, hey... So my dead husband...
Coming together.
Rest in peace or whatever. He loves this idea of masquerades and helping the homeless.
An excuse
but we
for
do
a
never
bunch of
find
high
out
to dress
why
very sexily
he thought those were connected.
And grind on each other.
Like,
and
why
I don't think there was
did
a lot
Mr.
of
Lockwood...
of the homeless here. Right.
And we don't ever find out, like, is it because people pay
you would
to
think
attend,
with a town of
and the
this
cost
size
of
and
that
also the amount of
goes to helping the
death and drama that
homeless?
has happened, there'd be more of like a robust chaperone kind of program, but
yeah, we never find out
here.
how this event actually goes to helping the homeless at all. It's just a throwaway line.
Right, yeah, we need to fly in some other people because clearly the adults here are not capable of taking on that responsibility.
And another...
because teenagers keep dying.
Literally none. And another event where these teenagers have such easy access to underage drinking. Which just seems so easy in this town.
Right.
Hello?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like where's the
concern,
charity
for
event
sure.
for like Big Brothers, Big Sisters kind of thing?
Right.
No, literally. God. And I'm not saying that we need to prioritize one, right? I think that having a homeless population is a very valid
it's
cause.
a little tricky. I get that.
That we also need to prioritize.
Sure.
What I am also saying is that the amount of times that we have seen youth die in this show, specifically from like alcohol, is a lot. So we should also be prioritizing that as well. So, you know, how about that, Mrs. Lockwood?
It was pretty fun.
Maybe lock up your
he's
alcohol.
Getting into his
okay?
own here, you know. He's having his little side quest.
How about we train our bartenders to card people? All right. It also doesn't help that people like Jeremy don't look like teens.
I've forgiven them.
So,
and now it's great again, and I'm having a good time.
They just say that he's gotten his fucking learner's permit. Homie looks like he's 25. All right?
Like, hey, bestie, I know we don't really talk anymore because we kind of hate each other. And don't really want to talk about anything.
I was gnawing at the drywall while watching this episode.
We should probably do something about the cat
so
thing.
Good. It was honestly fucked
that seems
up.
like important. And Elena's just like, whatever. Like, we're not doing anything.
Whatever
happened, do whatever she
happened,
wants, and like then she'll back off.
like 2 episodes ago, where they fucked up his hair. It's obviously grown out now, and I've forgotten that happened.
Right.
I'm not mad anymore.
Right. And it's like, listen, maybe in season 1, Elena, I would believe that with some plausible deniability. But there seems to be a lack of urgency going on here. And also not taking Catherine for her word, which has proven to be very deliberate and, like, specific. So if she wants the fucking moonstone at the masquerade, or she'll kill everyone, I would probably be a little bit more... nervous about that because when she says stuff, she usually does it, and she doesn't give a fuck.
You're being naive, Alina,
right?
And you know it,
right? Yeah, she was intending to fully kill her.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry. It's like, hey, right. Please be worried. Please be scared of her, because I cannot deal with this.
Correct.
You are not too cool for this. Goddamn.
Yeah, and she's not fucking around. Like, it was an accident that Jenna survived.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was... And Alina's like, oh no, it's fine. Like, I'm not really scared of her.
She has provided zero value. And honestly,
everyone is
more
around her like, Elena,
to her entire family. So.
Please be scared of her. It is...
Right. Yes.
Listen, Am I...
It's like, oh, I'm glad she's
alive. Is a part
alive
of me
so
bummed
she can, like,
Jenna's still
weirdly,
alive?
steamily have a conversation with Ray.
No comment.
Okay, cool, worth it. Got it. Awesome. There's going to be like 12 kids that die tonight. But okay,
I'm choosing not to say. But that's just because, what does Jenna do? You know? Like, why is
I
she
need my
here?
mans.
I don't want her to die because I don't want...
Please.
No, exactly. She's causing more problems.
Right.
She's causing more stress. I just don't want her to die because I don't want more pain and loss for Elena and Jeremy. And that's what it would cause. Yeah. But she pisses me off.
Right. Yeah, he was incredibly useless, and now he's like actually doing the work.
No, literally, Jen is like, fuck them kids.
That all these other people that have been here for centuries are like, it's fine.
I need my... No, okay, wait. Can we talk about Rick for a second? Because this motherfucker, I thought he was dead. I didn't think he was going to be in season 2. And then he keeps showing up with this weird, like, bunker full of vampire killing tools that his badass wife just, like, had in her office this whole time. Mm-hmm. He just keeps being weirdly useful. Like, hello? Why is Rick suddenly becoming valuable all of a sudden?
Yeah. God.
I know. If all that, and no one seems to really, like, respect him. Like, they kind of tolerate him more than they have in the past. But if all of a sudden someone like, if Catherine all of a sudden decides to get Rick on her side, you're fucked. Right. Because Rick knows, it's so Jover, like because Rick knows everything, apparently. And you're not really utilizing him
dusty
that
basement.
Much.
You're like, oh, there's like a bunch of
Y'all need to be super careful.
Like, vampire hunting things in here. That might be useful. I might bring this over.
Very worried. Because suddenly he's become, like, he knows apparently a lot that he was hiding the first season, which is interesting. Yeah. So, okay, sure. Those, like, stakes that they were using, like, Spider-Man.
That's not my problem.
Like, the ones that were shooting out of the hands. I don't okay, Rick, where were those when... Sure. I don't know where those came from, but all right. I know, literally.
It's infuriating. Like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to see the, like, surveillance footage of him trying to pull this stuff out of, like, a storage unit or something. Right. Where the, like, manager of the storage facility is like, this dude's weird as shit, but he pays his stuff on time, so I'm just gonna let this happen, I guess.
Right. Meanwhile, all of her friends
I don't have time for this.
Interests are like
also the fact that I know it was the whole point of the episode.
Cracks knuckles.
But Elena, this is the most oblivious Elena has ever been this episode.
Literally. Yeah. It was very funny though. Like,
it seems so out of character for her that literally everyone in her life, meeting too save Jenna, is ignoring her, not responding to her text. And she's like, that's weird. I think
it was when Bonnie walks in. And Stefan is like the human embodiment of like the shrug emoji. No life in his voice or anything. And
you were literally better than this. I've seen you
okay, that's how we're going to present this news. Great. Love it.
Awesome. You don't realize until the masquerade's happening. They're doing a full-ass, like, Avengers suit-up montage. And she's so distracted because Matt's there.
Right.
I thought that was super cute, by the way.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Right.
The way, first of all, I'm very lucky because we don't just get Jeremy this episode. We get Jeremy and Bonnie.
Like, hell yeah.
And they're
he has a type, but that's okay.
Are interacting with each other. The writers of this episode are trying to ship the two of them.
Just not a human woman.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
Good to find that out early in life.
I don't hate it. But I was just starting to think about, like, Damon and Bonnie. And now, here's the thing. I think Jeremy is just, he's very, like, Debbie Ryan of, like, oh, I'm not like other boys. And he just doesn't like human girls. So anyone who's, like, a vampire or a witch, he's like, oh, that's super hot. You know what I mean? And that came across super clear this episode of, like, oh, Bonnie's a witch. It's not human, is the thing.
Yeah, I love that.
It's very Bella Swan coded, Jeremy, and I want you to lean into that for yourself. But that, like, Avengers squad up moment where Bonnie is, like, looking at Caroline and everyone is looking at Bonnie and being like, all right, we can't all be cowards. Everyone has to follow through with this.
All of her,
and everyone's like, yeah, we're in.
What is the word?
And then they all look at Bonnie and they're like, all right,
being like,
are you good?
To a sister in her big
Are you gonna fucking follow
she's
through
got
with
a whole
this?
Rolodex.
I thought that was super
get
cute.
Lucy,
because she just has a really strong conscience, and I think that that's powerful
character
and great.
I do love that her intro line. They were kind of like play fighting a little bit.
It means a lot to me.
And she was like, you know, don't sneak up on a vampire.
And I appreciate her.
Lucy was
also,
like, well,
how
don't
did
sneak
you
up on a witch. And
feel
I wanted so bad
about
for her to end that with bitch.
Miss Catherine,
like a witch, comma, bitch.
Deciding
but they didn't give that to me, and that's the one flaw.
Bring in
I think
another witch.
That was a missed opportunity. You whiffed it, guys. You know, I know it's the CW, but you can get away with it. You can say bitch, right? Exactly, like cowards.
Her whole Rolodex, yeah.
But that was right. Yeah, no, I think they were being too cautious. You know, and that's fucked up. But yeah.
For real.
She's so ruthless. And, like, this whole time, too, she's, you know, straightening her hair. Because she's like, I have to look like my boring twin. Is not my twin.
They're allowed to say bitch.
And she's so boring and lame. And I have to, like, have straight hair and, like, not even wear a cool outfit.
It was definitely
cool
on,
outfits.
like, the first
like,
draft of this episode. And then they scrapped it. And I think that was
it's also so fun watching. Yeah, you can never make me hate her. You can never.
There was a moment in that scene, too,
like, out of the
where Catherine describes Elena as dull as dishwater, and
her as Elena is the most.
My jaw was on the goddamn floor.
And then when she's Catherine, you can tell she's having a bit more fun. But when she's Catherine pretending to be Elena, it is a whole other level of joy for me. I love it so much. Yeah. 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 She's running circles around all these dudes.
This whole episode, they wanted me to hate her. It's not even
close.
And I can't hate her.
Right. Yeah, come on now. Yeah. Right. She's unbreakable.
Yes. Oh. Yes. It is the amount of acting that Nina does in that moment is god tier, and I appreciate her so much.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, method acting my ass. Like, it is.
Right, and she's been going through a lot.
You can't try her in this moment. I just want to say for the writers of this, my one critique in this episode, why did we get two black women in this episode? Which is
not
so
only they're
rare
both
for
witches,
this show.
They're also cousins, so.
It hasn't happened in a really long time. And even
like,
I think I could count on my hand how many times it's happened in the show so far. Why do they have to be related?
Interesting.
I don't mind, because I think that it makes Bonnie very happy in this episode. Right. And anytime that Bonnie's happy, I'm happy. But, like, it feels... Right. It feels weirdly like a failing of the Bechdel test in a way of like,
right?
Oh, the only 2 black women at this event have to be related. Like,
yeah, that's the only way this makes sense.
What?
It's like,
right.
Yeah.
And I will pause on it because again, Bonnie's happy
doesn't
about
have to
it.
be like this.
She's happy, and she cries happy tears about it, and she can trust this person. But I just want to say for the writers, it's so rare that we get 2 black people in this show in like the same scenes. And then you're like, oh, well, they're related. So like, obviously, right?
Yes.
That's the same thing that I thought was going to happen during that
Clueless.
carnival scene. Right?
Turned all
Before
the
they
way
went
off.
and they killed that dude. And it's just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
statistically,
I think they're just in like do
we're
not
in
disturb
Virginia.
all the time, and they forgot
What
to
do you
turn it
mean?
back on, you know? And they're like,
doesn't-
oh shit,
like,
there's like other
just
things
is
we can
confusing
be
to
getting
me.
notifications right now.
But I did like Lucy.
It's like, hey, I haven't gotten a text
I
message
liked
from
the
you in 100 years.
interactions
That's weird, huh? Guess
that
let's not
Lucy
think
and
about it
Bonnie
too hard.
had. I also do want to say, because we've talked about this a lot on this show,
Yeah.
Bonnie and Caroline both demonstrate having spidey senses in this episode. Damon and Stefan seem to be actively choosing to not use... They seem to have chosen to not utilize them.
She crushed. She tore. She ate, left no crumbs. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dress, the way her hair was, incredible. Stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. She's in her own. She's coming into her vampire own, baby.
It's got to be it. It's got to... And I just hope that like at some
me
point
hate her
it comes
either.
into play. Where... Otherwise, it's just going to be very confusing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, oh well. Oh well. I was very proud of Caroline this episode.
Yeah.
She also
So
looked
good,
beautiful.
and she's so proud of
That
herself,
dress,
as she should be, because that was very impressive.
Amazing.
To trick Catherine, because she's very hard to trick. And she's always playing like 6-dimensional chess.
Vampire Caroline.
And Caroline's like, ha ha ha, who, me? Little old
so
me?
important
It's like,
to me.
yes, bitch, absolutely.
It's so important to
Fuck
me.
yeah, smile. Have a
But
little
her
fun
being
smile.
like, you can never,
Catherine's like
you can
trapped in
never
this
make
little
me
cube.
hate her.
This weird
Pre-Vampire Caroline, yes.
Force cube.
But now she's a full fleshed out 3-dimensional character, and I love her so much. But her being like, to Catherine being like, I got you, bitch.
Yeah.
I fooled you. I'm an actress. Was so good. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's one way to
it was
process
so
your
good.
sibling trauma,
And
you
then-
know? Hey, I don't
That is finally the point
Just
where
take it out of
Elena
your
was
system,
like,
cup,
oh yeah,
and
I'm gonna
you
go
know,
to
if
bed
it works,
as
it
I'm
works,
holding my
you know?
car keys. Like, okay, sure, Jan. And I loved that moment too, because it was finally like Jeremy's turn on the text chain to have to go talk to Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's interesting because we still have been getting that beef between him and Elena, like you had shared earlier. But something that seems to be really cathartic for him is he gets to take out all of this like weird vibes that he has towards Elena
and the plan
on
all comes
Catherine.
together. Ugh,
And
so satisfying.
it seems to be working. It's just take it out on your doppelganger. Yeah. Listen, hey, it's great. But having to, that moment where Catherine like reveals her
hurts the other one like a voodoo
six-dimensional
doll.
chest
Like-
hands in the room after Damon and Stefan start stabbing her
Right.
was
She's
so
sick and twisted.
it was like why I love those type of like Ocean's 11 things. Like when the shoe finally drops.
Right.
Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah, like in when they've finally revealed in the
like
in the bank vault when they touch
so
one of the lasers accidentally,
you didn't tell me there was
and
another
it like trips the
witch
wire
involved. Like we're crossing.
It was so fucked up because like that's not how
and
doppelgangers work. Like it shouldn't be that when you stab one of them,
like
that Elena bleeds.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now. Respect witch.
But then it's
also,
like, of course, that's why Lucy would be here.
They need to start treating
to do
the witches in their lives with some respect.
Of course, Catherine would have thought
they are
through
just puppets for them.
If we're all going to be in the same place, they're going to try and kill me.
And witches who are
because
powerful.
She thinks about everything. Unlike
these
two chuckle fucks.
The vampires are taking them for granted, and also like not communicating properly what they need to know to do the things they need to do, and that's just inefficient.
Right.
Yes.
That goes against witch code. We don't do that here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, literally.
Right. Come on now. Utilize your positioning and power in the situation, my guys.
They need a union.
That was fire. Yeah, that was like, you can't just do that. Those go against all the rules.
They need to get on a Discord. They need to unionize. Because all that we've seen thus far is that the vampires keep like putting them in as middlemen for all of their beef. When the witches have more power than the vampires do. So what's good?
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Yeah. Please, God.
Yeah. And we see that here when Lucy does the whole, like, she turns the moonstone into a taser. Like, that.
Yeah.
That was very good. I didn't know that that was allowed. It's just. I mean, I think that it's a testament, right, to a lot of these vampires of how just manipulating they are. And we see that with a lot of the vampire stuff that we've covered, right? That, like, it is, it's very easy to see how it slips into these, like, abusive tactics. But they need a union because they're more powerful. It just makes me sad. And there's a moment, too, right, where Bonnie, like, finds out that she's related to Lucy and is like, how do I get out of the middle of this?
She trusts too hard.
And I love that Lucy was like, listen, I think you're doing good here.
It's tough.
I wasn't doing good, but I think you're doing good. So maybe just stay where you are for now. And what worries me about that is, like, knowing what we know, that, like, Bonnie doesn't stay alive until the end of this. Is, like, is that the kiss of death, you know? Does she think that, like, she's doing good so she stays instead of actually getting out of this? Because her family member told her to stay.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have anyone. You know what I mean? It just hurts. I will say that, like, it's been a while since I've been so emotionally involved in a scene as I did when Jeremy went up to break the news to Damon and Stefan that Elena was also being hurt. And Damon's eyes when he saw that, I was like, boy, you're such a bad, you could never play poker. And I know, like, that's acting, right? But, like, it's just, Ian in that moment was really good. Because Catherine, this whole time, has been trying to play the two of them against each other when she's been, like, locked in. These boys are
very easy to pin against each other.
No, it's after this. It's after they stop
cause chaos
trying to torture her.
You do,
she starts playing the two of them against each other of, like, are you like, does Elena enjoy having both of you worship at her altar? And, like, when she tells Damon to kiss her, because Elena will feel that too. It's like, this bitch. And then, oh my god, when she mouths to Stefan that she loves him.
I was so bored. I mean, like, I know it's supposed to be
this
like,
is
what if Matt dies?
I could never, they will
Because
never
that's
make
what
me hate you,
Catherine
Catherine.
would
You're
do.
so good at this.
But there was other shit going on.
Something went wrong.
I couldn't
Try again
focus.
in a few
I didn't
seconds.
care. And Tyler ended up being a werewolf anyway, just from a totally unrelated thing, because it got broken
It's
up.
just, she's so good. She's so good at this. I also think it's a testament to, like,
Yeah.
how interesting this
Right.
A storyline is
She had backup plans. She's
that
got
I
backup
didn't
plans on
give
backup
a
plans. Yeah.
fuck about Tyler and Matt. I
Right.
no, I didn't. I didn't care.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that, like, knowing that the other girl, Sarah, was also in on it.
Yeah.
Again,
also,
Catherine,
it's interesting.
they'll never make me hate you. You're so smart.
Right, yeah. It's just like, okay, it's
Having,
Tyler.
like,
It's
multiple-
alright, I guess I'll stick around for
Exactly.
I don't know how excited
You
I'm
have
gonna
so many contingency plans. I love you so
It's
much.
interesting too, like, given Catherine.
The only interesting part of that was that Tyler still changed.
Every time they underestimate her,
And I
since
think
she's
that
been
the
here, and it's like motherfuckers.
that him
and like
being
the,
this, like,
the
doomed,
good gang,
having
the
this,
good
like,
guys,
doomed
you know,
fate,
they
that was
made
the
one
only
plan,
interesting
and they were
part.
like so proud of themselves. Like, fuck yeah,
And
we had
I-
a plan. We came together
that's
and we
not-
talked about stuff.
But that has nothing
And
to
then
do with
There were no
the
other plans
vampire
for
lore.
variables.
That
or
has
other
more to
things
do
that could
with
go
him
wrong
being this, like,
or anything
really
like that. But
tragic
they're just like,
character.
high five, good day, everyone. We did it.
And
we
that
had a
could have been
plan, we're gonna
anyone
do it,
else.
and
I
that's
just
great.
don't care about
Meanwhile,
Tyler.
Catherine's out here with fucking spreadsheets and like, string on a dartboard, and just like
Right.
going through every possible scenario. Because so even if it doesn't happen in the exact same way she wants, she still gets what she wants. And it's like, y'all are playing checkers, she's playing chess, guys. Come on, like, congrats on you guys actually talking to one another and making a plan for once in your life. But this is still in very uneven competition here.
Nope.
Yeah. So scary. So scary. Yeah. Right. Right. You're a bad guy for sure. Yeah. Right.
The way that I interpreted the end of this episode, first of all, I clocked the Joker mask dude right away, because this whole episode has masks, and I knew that going in, so I wasn't as scared as I would have been.
Right.
Even though
she has
I
to be
notoriously hate
protected.
masks. But that one
Yeah.
was the scariest
So it's
one.
like-
So I clocked him immediately and was like,
Right.
I'm watching you for every scene. I need to know where you are so you don't jump out and scare me.
But I'm
You're a
proud of
bad
Damon
guy
for
because you
getting a
have
little
the
bit of,
scariest one.
not closure, but
And
at least
so I
a
was
little
like,
edge, being
you're
like, this is
obviously
where I thought
evil.
you were all this time,
So
bitch.
I
Now
knew,
you're actually gonna be here.
I knew, like, they
Close
did
little
this
tomb
intentionally.
has this little
The way that
like,
I
haha,
assumed,
go
though,
me, I did it.
with what Catherine was talking about in the tomb at the end is, like,
Yeah.
she planted Joker guy. Like, they have to be working together. Because, like, what do you mean Elena's in danger?
She's killing it. All
Every
cylinders.
person that's put Elena in danger so far has been her. So,
Right.
but yeah, the person who, like,
No.
him,
Yup. Mm-hmm. Right.
Nina's acting in that, by the way, I feel like I'm going to be saying this for a while.
Yeah.
Was just superb. Because I really believed it.
Right.
But yeah. I have to say, Ian in that moment was convincing because I didn't believe Damon. In the sense that...
Do you really think that, buddy?
I didn't believe that he had the upper hand because it was so clear of like, I'm going to put you where I know that you are, but I don't have the gall to actually kill you.
Sure.
Because I'll never be able to do it. And we've said that before, right? Like, when it comes down to it, he loves her too much to actually be able to do it. So I'm going to let you be here and mummify.
It was very scary.
But I need to know where you are, kind of thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he's trying to be all bark, no bite, because he's like, death would have been too kind. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Damon, like... You've never done it. And... Yeah, you're so scary.
Yeah. He does look very Gossip Girl, for sure.
No, but for real, though, I was so scared. When that masked dude came out and grabbed Delena, I was like, I hate this. This is my biggest fear. I haven't been this scared in the show since the dude in the other mask jumped down from her ceiling. I hate this. Like, I still have fucking nightmares about that.
Right, it's not my truth, you know?
I hate it. So I think that... Because I wasn't sure when I had pulled the photo of, like, who this fucking Gossip Girl motherfucker is from next episode, Rose. But I'm assuming he's the person behind the mask.
Right. Oh, gosh. Uh-huh.
Right? Coming down these stairs.
Yeah, this is
like
where
he's
we're
about to...
heating
what
up
was
for
that?
it.
Is it a cotillion? What is that thing that they did in Gossip Girl every year?
You're right. Yeah.
That's a different tax bracket than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I brought lunch to school, right. You know? They didn't, so that was not my truth. I think that's but I am curious. I'm curious to know what... Because that wasn't even a mid-season finale. So... But it felt like it. So I'm scared. What they have up their sleeves.
Absolutely. Thank you to Maya Bennett.
If Catherine isn't the big bad this season, then I'm scared.
Pew pew. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
I'm scared. But next episode is titled Rose. So I'm assuming this is Leo DiCaprio. That's what I'm getting from this, anyways. Yeah, that's only what I would assume from this,
Sophia Salinger.
We have some amazing patrons to thank. Do you want to start us off?
Ow! And last but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Yes. Hell yes.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Cart.
Right.
Ooh,
yeah, you're brave and true and strong.
To Maddie Facinelli. Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke. Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos. Ooh.
Okay.
So Ellie, our backstory writer, sent in this fan fiction for us. It's been a while since I've navigated to fanfiction.net, but I will do it for you, Ellie. This is from the author Candy's Wiz. It is titled His Soft Hair, and it looks like, since this doesn't have a year on it, it just says published January 21st. So I'm assuming this year. So very recent. The summary is, Elena admires Stefan's hair. And it's very short. It's just a one shot. Stefan walked out of the bathroom, and his hair looked softer than usual.
Cute.
Without his gel,
okay,
it looked different.
Cute.
It was strange, since I've only ever seen his hair
touching.
with gel. But it looked nice. He looked handsome. I smiled to myself. I felt a blush creep up on my face. He asked, "Why are you blushing?" "Because of you, of course." He grins. I touch his hair. "Your hair is really soft after you wash it." He chuckles.
Yeah,
I say you should keep it this way more often. He smiles and leans forward to kiss my forehead. I smile as his lips touch my skin. He pulls away and he agrees. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
I let out a giggle and said, "Good." And I pressed my lips to his. The end. It says the end.
Absolutely. Reporting live from the scene.
Also, I didn't say it in our notes. I just want to know from the writer's perspective, why did they think it was appropriate that Elena was standing by that lake by herself when she was like bleeding out? Just something for our friends to think about before next week.
Yeah, just something to puzzle on for the next couple days.
Just something to, write about, think about before we talk next week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm eagerly going to await next week to get your drag brunch report.
Absolutely. Reporting live from the scene.
And, as always, send in your Twilight backstories, your TVD backstories, send in fanfiction. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.